in support of the school and 151 in opposition during the hearing. And also during the hearing, there was just 17 speakers in support of the Gloucester Community Arts Charter School, and only 48 got the chance to speak and get against the proposal, with 94 unable to add their voices due to time constraints. The petition with 400 signatures has never been publicly validated, and that the CSO declared the Gloucester Community Charter School a do not recommend status based on criteria that was not met in their final application. And these are just a few of the many concerns brought before you. I hope they are all taken into consideration in your deliberations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Michelle Sweet.
My name is Michelle Sweet, and I am a parent of 2 children, 16 and 13, both attending Gloucester Public Schools. I am also a member of the Gloucester School Committee. Thank you all for coming here tonight and holding this hearing. I'm going to be brief. I'm only going to comment on one very important issue that has already been discussed. I want to express my concern about the public hearing held December 11, 2008, here in Gloucester. The board clearly did not follow their own rule and have a member present. Not having any member of the board present the night of the public hearing was a complete failure of the process. We will never be able to recreate what happened that night. The board was not here to witness the passion, the commitment from parents, students, teachers, and members of our community in opposing the charter school. They did not hear from at least 40 people who wanted to speak in opposition of the charter school. They did not witness the innovation, creativity, and commitment of our teachers who inspire our students every day. It is very important that the wishes of this community be heard, and that simply wasn't the case. I hope the wishes of our community are heard tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Melissa Teixeira?
Hi, I thank you for this opportunity to speak with you about the injustice and the unfairness of the Gloucester Charter School application process. My name is Melissa Joy Teixeira. I am a resident of this community and a member of the Gloucester School Committee. Before I continue with my speech, and in the spirit of repetition, I just would like to ask the audience a question because of the time restraints. I'm wondering how many people here still want to speak. Because if I see that there's a lot of opposition that still needs to be heard, rather than me being repetitive, I'd rather defer my time to someone else.
We probably have another 15 or so people who are signed up to speak, which will take us right to 8 o'clock or shortly
So we do have enough
thereafter.
time, okay.
Barely, but we'll get right to 8 o'clock.
I just want to make sure, because I know before me included in that did not have the opportunity to speak. So I will be repetitive. The first issue I would like to talk about is falls under Chapter 71, Section 89, subsection G, which states, before final approval to establish a Commonwealth charter school, the Board of Education shall hold a public hearing on said applications and solicit and review comments on the application from local school committee and for the school district in which the charter school is to be located. I personally attended 2 public hearings. One was held in Waltham and the other one was held in Gloucester on December 11th. While I did not sign up to speak in Waltham, I did register for the Gloucester meeting. I, like the majority of people who were in attendance, wanted to talk about the weaknesses in the charter school application. Needless to say, my name was never called, and during the 3-hour hearing, I was never given the opportunity to comment. The statute provides me, as a member of the school committee, the opportunity to comment, and my name was never called. I walked away from the meeting with an overwhelming sense that the message was clear, that this community does not hold a majority support for the charter school. I also walked away very disappointed that I did not have the opportunity to speak as a school official. Looking back, in hindsight, I suppose it didn't matter, because unless there's a videotape or an audio tape of the whole hearing, it appears opponents' voices were not heard that day in December, or at least not heard by those whom the Statute of Education's Board's policy provide for. Written comments that were submitted could not possibly show or capture the display of innovation in the arts that currently exist in our schools today. The second issue involves the same statute. It's Section I of Chapter 79, Section 81. The board shall not approve a new Commonwealth charter school in any community with a population of less than 30,000 unless it's a regional charter school. It is my understanding that the application, if ever confirmed, was based on the federal 2000 census, a survey that happened almost 10 years ago. Think about it. How much can change in 10 years? How accurate can that information be if it is 10 years old? I've lived in Gloucester for over 40 years. I work in public service at the Gloucester District Court, where I've been employed for 16 years. I can attest that this community has changed a lot over those years, not only in numbers, but also in diversity. There are many more immigrants who have moved in and established homes here, and there are many who have moved out of Gloucester to establish a home elsewhere. To simply state, I think it is an accurate statement to say that the 2000 figures would be inaccurate. Therefore, our community would not meet the threshold for this type of school. Unless there are 30,000 people currently living in Gloucester, a charter school would not be approved. Perhaps waiting for the 2010 census might confirm that, or maybe we can be talking about a regional school instead, which would allow other communities to help in the fiscal process. As many of you have stated tonight, and many will, the process did not follow the law or the board's own regulations. The 14th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States provides that due process rights and equal protections to the law. I ask that you please find that the charter school application was not followed properly and fix this grave injustice that will detrimentally affect the children of this community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next we'll hear from Nancy Harrison, followed by Stacy Randall, John Hardy, and Pamela Schwartz.
My name is Nancy Harrison, and I also am on the school committee. And I've been a resident of Gloucester for 48 years, and I'm a foster parent, and I've had teenagers in the high school forever. And there isn't anything that I can add to what all of my members have said from the school committee. Whatever I would have said has already been said, so I will save you hearing it again and let you know that I am definitely opposed for all those reasons to the charter school. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Stacy Randall.
Good evening. My name is Stacy Randall. I'm a Gloucester parent of an 8th grader and also the director of a family support and education center here in Gloucester. I've worked in the field with families for over 20 years. I just want to address a few points that were brought up tonight, and a lot of things have been repeated, so I don't want to do that. Mrs. Banter admitted that she was aware that 3 institutional players withdrew their support from the charter application, yet she didn't indicate that she questioned that, or she asked how the implementation of the teaching methods and the supposed innovative curriculum would be delivered without the collaboration of Lesley University, Montserrat College of Arts, and Sea Arts. This is a key point for me of poison process because those questions were not asked. How do you possibly affirm an application where 3 key institutional players no longer exist in the application? Some of the CSO comments were that they did not provide research-based evidence about why an arts integrated curriculum will lead to student achievement. Well, that'll be even more difficult, again, with those 3 players not involved. The CSO mentioned the group will need to strengthen and build relationship with the Gloucester community and local arts and community organizations in order to provide the level of collaboration they have articulated in the application. In this regard, it was a dismal failure, and again, a dismal failure of the process that this was not questioned and interviewed at great length with the applicants post the December 11th hearing. The gentleman from Western Mass indicated this process was full of courage and bravery. Well, I would beg to differ. I would think this is filled with indifference and cowardice and great disregard for the citizens of Gloucester, and particularly the children of Gloucester. The CSO also mentioned that there has been little evidence at the public hearing or through public comments about significant demand for this proposed school. Broad-based community support does not exist for this school. Please hear that. And that is a main part of the criteria for approval, again, which was ignored by Commissioner Chester and the rest of the board. It is obvious to me and many other people from the beginning that this was a presupposed outcome. The process greatly flawed, and the evaluation is therefore worthless. I stand in disbelief at this travesty of justice and in deep grief for the children of Gloucester. Please, please do what you can to prevent this charter from going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'd like to hear from John Hardy, followed by Pamela Schwartz, Simon Paddock, and Ellen Sibley.
Thank you for coming to Gloucester. I'm John Hardy. I have 2 sons in the Gloucester Public Schools. When it comes to granting charters, the state has determined that a population of 30,000